let me move a little bit in that direction, because I think in this section of 2 Corinthians, starting with verse 14, do not be yoked together with unbelievers. We're being told that we need to be careful who we partner with, whose lifestyles we participate in. It's not about who we associate with, and it's not even about who we make friends with, but who we share our lives with. Could be a business partnership to a particularly deep level that affects our holiness. But you will have heard the verse being used, I'm sure, about marriage. And whilst it's probably not first and foremost about marriage, I think it's a good application. Because in marriage you do yoke yourselves to someone else. There's a partnership, there's an intimacy there, which is beyond just friendship. And the Bible is clear in 1 Corinthians 7:39. Well, here's what it says. It says you must marry in the Lord. If you're a Christian, if you're a Christian believer, one of God's holy people, you should marry in the Lord. And I think that must mean, I can't see any other meaning, that you must marry a Christian. I want to say to young Christians here, or to any folks who are thinking about marriage or relationships or dating, that is very wise, and beyond wise, I think it's absolutely right for a Christian not to date or to marry an unbeliever. Now, if you have already married an unbeliever, or you become a believer in the course of the marriage, you're to stick with it because you've made promises. But if you're at the point where you have the freedom, the Bible would say, don't marry an unbeliever. And if it says don't marry an unbeliever, it must mean don't date an unbeliever, because dating is for what? It's for marriage, isn't it? It's not just for having fun, the goal of dating is finding a partner, a life partner, a husband or wife. So I really want to say that to you all. Please, it can be very unhappy, actually. I've seen certainly one marriage I was aware of. The lady was a believer. It's often this way. The man was an unbeliever. Very unhappy marriage. Very hard. She was always going to church. He wasn't interested. You're pulling in different directions at a very fundamental level of life. You know, the deepest thing in your life should be your relationship with the Lord. And if your partner doesn't have that, how can you marry, how can you yoke yourself to someone who doesn't love the Lord? It seems obvious, doesn't it? And don't forget that singleness is always a good option if you can manage it. Please don't discount singleness. I know there are cultures where marriage is presented as the be-all and end-all. You must get married, young people, or else you'll have committed to a second-class, to a B road of life, if you like. Read 1 Corinthians 7. There are clear advantages to singleness if you can manage it. And that what Paul actually means there, very realistically, is if you can manage it sexually. Try reading that. It's very striking. It's very down to earth. It's very real. So please, young people who are in the Lord, I would urge you not to date or to marry an unbeliever, but to seek out, to pray for a believer, someone who loves the Lord like you do.